Check, 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 check. There I am. Real life, people. Give me a second here to figure some stuff out. Where's my mic? Ooh, we are on. There's my face. I have a face. I was just talking to Preston, our behind-the-scenes guy, about food, and he's going to get Leon Chins, and I'm like, ooh, keep me away from that. I think I've got a thing with MSG in my 40s. And I had it again on Sunday at pho. Made my face like all puffy and edemic when I woke up the next morning from having it. And I'm like, I can't deal with this. No, I will give up MSG. I think it's MSG. Because I've had Leon Chins, we were just talking about how I grew up on it. Oh man, ever since I was like in middle school. And it was fine. And then now I hit 40 and it's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Sunday I had the bourbon chicken, which I thought might be a little better because it's not fried. No. We were sitting here, it's Tuesday, and I am foggy as ever. Although I did a little fun ceremony this weekend, which probably also has me a little drained. So that's me, I'm human, bringing to you human stuff. Feeling out of it today, super spacey and tired, even though I got 9 hours of sleep last night. It happens. We live, we learn, we move on. You are watching Restore and Release Breathwork. Thanks for joining. We also have live Facebook watchers. I don't have my phone. Let me grab my phone so I can communicate with anybody watching Facebook. And I believe we've got some live YouTubers, and then also Y members who choose to watch this live. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. So today, we are going to do some breathing, as we always do. And let's see what I have planned for the focus. Nothing. So we're going to come up with that together. There I am. All right, anybody watching live, if you're on Facebook, because I don't have a way to see the YouTubers yet, if there's a focus you want, let me know. Put it in the comment section. What we'll start out with is I'll teach y'all how to do the breath if you're new to it. If you aren't, it's just a nice reminder. And then something I also need right now, my guess is maybe you do too, we will work a little bit about shaking off the backlog. We live in a world where we're like, go, meditate, Zen, get there. And like, you're only going to be able to get there, in my experience, if you first move out the sludge. It's like, you got to get that stuff out so we can tune in. I'll go through the disclaimer that maybe you know by heart by now, and then we'll get into the breath work. So let's actually stand up, and I know the camera I chose to use today, it's gonna cut off my head, and again, human, like we're just gonna deal with that. And let me button up my pants. These are super tight pants for me, but hey, they're black, so I wear them for these things. Let's see if you can see me back here. You can, but I'm a little shadowy. Okay, so on your feet. I know maybe you were not expecting to be on your feet. And we're going to work out the backlog. So we're just going to start moving. My mentor currently, and somebody I've worked with for like the past 6 years, her name's Portia Richardson. She has been a huge teacher in helping me work out the backlog, One of my other mentors, Jamie, also is big with this, but in other ways. So we just start shaking. Shaking is a way that cultures all over the planet use to move out the backlog. And you can also think of this as dancing. Although right now we're not worried about how we look. We're not worried about looking what we would think is cool or nice or proper. We're just feeling into our body. Where's the tightness? Where's the stagnant energy? You can pat yourself. This can be a way of moving the energy. It's also a way of like waking up your body. In Chinese medicine, we think of the yin channels and the yang channels. And you can continue kind of shaking if that feels good. I suppose some music would be nice to do this too, but I wasn't planning on doing this. Shake your butt, right? And for some of you, this may be really uncomfortable. Like maybe you're just watching me and you're not doing it. You're like, that's silly. Oh my gosh, what is she doing? You know, that internal self-talk. We can listen to those things. Those things give us clues, right? Like the person who stands in the corner and they're like, that's dumb, stupid, I'm not doing that. You know, that judgment, that right or wrong, I should do this, I shouldn't do this. They should do this, they shouldn't do this. They're right, they're wrong. Right? That stuff can come up and get really loud when we start doing things that go against the culture, like shaking your body. And like there's a time and a place, right? Like in the middle of a meeting to like get up and go, woo, like may not be helpful, depending on who you're having a meeting with. But like when we're in ceremony, when we're in a group with friends, when we get together and have a party, we can do these things. We can do this alone. So as you can probably hear, I'm getting out of breath. So it's a little cardio too. So we shake out the body, and then now we can also pat again, waking up the channels. And this is also something I like to do not talking, because it's hard for me to focus on like what I want to shake out when I'm talking to you, but like I'm leading you through this, right? So like when I do this on my own, like I'm just kind of, I try to go into like a trance state, do some repetitive motions, and then you slow them down. And then you slow them down a little more. And a little more. And you might still feel a little bit of movement, a little bit of things that need to kind of be shaked out. Things come in waves. So you just kind of sense that. And then if you can find, your legs feel firm on the ground, find a position you can stand, maybe with your eyes closed, or maybe you have a hand against a chair or a couch and you can close your eyes. And this is my favorite part, one of them, is to find my center, find your center. And you can feel the difference sometimes of how it felt before you started moving out the backlog and how it feels after. Like for me, I can feel more of my chi moving, and I'm still like, my heart's beating fast, so I'm needing to take deeper breaths. And yawning, that's the other thing that happens when we're moving out the backlog. Yawning, coughing, hiccuping, like that feeling that there's something in your throat that wants to come out. Some tears can happen. And then this center, so many practices have that Reiki energy, so that universal energy that comes straight through us. So sometimes that's what I like to tap into. I like to find that I feel it flowing like a river from top down, just whoosh, 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 whoosh. And it feels regulating. Right? And to me, it can feel expansive. a little trippy, getting to an altered state of consciousness sometimes. Can feel a little tingly. And also your center can feel like your heart space. Maybe that starts to open up. Maybe it's your, in between your hips. For female embodied people, your womb space. Maybe you really feel your legs activated and you can feel gravity pushing against your feet and the floor. So let's take a few breaths together as a community, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Another one in through the nose, out through the mouth. And again, notice the shift. And I'm more aware of things happening around me. I can hear, maybe it's like the HVAC system that I didn't notice before. I feel the weight of my body. I'm more in tune with how it feels. I got a little something going on in my gut. I can feel that, kind of like a little fun snaky thing. I can feel some tension in my brow. So just bringing awareness to the sensations. Externally, internally, the space around you, and then how your mushy guts and everything inside feel, your bones, your muscles. And then if you want, kind of like an open, power stance, is to widen your feet a little bit more. And take your arms out to the side and then push out your chest and maybe even tilt your head upwards a little bit. It's a very opening posture. To me, this feels like, it's very different from the opposite, a close. This feels open to newness. It feels willingness. It feels humble. And then when you're ready, nice and slow, you can open your eyes open and then come back down to a seated position. So, breath work. I got the phlegm moving again. I had nothing phlegmy this morning. This just happens so much when I teach, the phlegm. I see it happen to other people when they teach too. And there's a lot of heat, so let's take this jacket off. And I get to sport my wonderful YMCA tank top. So those new to breath work, this is a very activating kind of breath. We will be relaxing, and the first part is very, very active. Part of the goal is to, Preston just came in with Leanne. I might smell it. So it's meant to be moving, to feel fluctuations of hot and cold, to feel the movement, to feel emotions, ones that are that we tend to like, and then maybe ones we tend to not like. Know that that's all accepted in this practice. Shaking, kind of just like we did Sandy, but maybe as you're lying on the ground, because we're going to do this lying on the ground, you might start to feel little twitches or some movement or those snaky snakes in your body. Feel free to go with them and just kind of move them out. This isn't a practice where we need to sit still. Numbness, tetany, when your mouth starts to close up a little bit or your throat gets dry, or like I do often, you start to cough a lot of phlegm up. Laughing, crying, like it's all within the realm of this can happen. So know that. Also know that nothing seemingly might happen. That's also within the realm of okay. Disclaimer, breathwork can result in intense experiences, just like I mentioned. Whew, I still need to catch my breath. You may find it physically, emotionally, or mentally challenging. If you currently have or have a history of the following, you are encouraged to check with your doctor prior to involvement. Cardiovascular disease, heart attack, high blood pressure. if you take blood thinners, if you experience epilepsy or seizures, if you have glaucoma, osteoporosis, severe asthma, bipolar, schizophrenia, dissociative disorders, a history of significant trauma, or if you are pregnant. If you have any of these, it's helpful to check with your doctor before you do something like this, because as I mentioned, it can get really intense for some people, especially people who fall under those categories. I forgot to mention, no, I already went through the sensations. Chest pain, or let's replace the word pain with discomfort. Mild and or severe. So as this is nudging up to our edges. That's why we do this practice. If you feel uncomfortable, awesome. You're in the medicine. This is going to be a really helpful tool for you. And especially since we're not together, you are the only one that's going to know if it's too much. I mean, even if we are together, you're in your body. I'm not. I know how I feel. I don't know how you feel. So if it feels like too much, please stop, or at least slow down. This isn't like I got to push through every uncomfortable experience. No. This is a practice you continuously come back to, and you start to get to know your edges, and you nudge up to them a little bit more and a little bit more, and then you're able to maybe hold more intense feelings. Now, like if you feel a heart attack coming on, that's not something I'm like, oh, just keep going, or let's build up. Like that's something we want to address. What I'm talking more about is maybe if you're familiar with panic attacks or anxiety, this breathing can bring on those same sensations. Even though nothing was seemingly triggering, or like none of your usual triggers are around. That's the juiciness, that's the medicine of this practice. It helps us hold those experiences, it helps us process and move out those heebie-jeebies. So we're more, we have a wider nervous system and capability to experience life outside of this practice. And also, if we do feel the anxiety or panic coming on because we are triggered, we can tap into this tool after we've done it a few times. It can take years to really trust this practice and learn to trust our body and spirit, or whatever your belief is. If you don't believe in anything, that's all right too. Believe in yourself. And you learn to build on that trust. And then the peeling away really can start to happen, the unfolding. When we trust that the space we're in is safe, all sorts of stuff can process itself. Okay, so as for a topic today, we're just going to go topicless. We're just going to throw that away. We're going to play in the land of gray. You're free to have an intention, but I'm going to have you come up with that on your own. I'm not going to suggest one. So spend maybe the next few breaths deciding if you want an intention or not. You can simply come to this practice knowing that it's a helpful tool for you. Just like I'm going to eat this, really good chicken and these veggies and this rice because I know it helps me feel good, and I know in the long run, after I do it enough times, it helps keep inflammation down and regulate my body so I'm not too hot and too cold. You keep the sugar out of there. We do it out of habit and out of ritual and out of devotion and dedication to a sound mind, body, and spirit. So know that you can also come to these practices, kind of like maybe sometimes we go to talk therapy. This happens to me all the time. A lot of practitioners I see, I just end up in their office because it's just a scheduled thing I have, and I'm like, I don't know. Or like I'm driving there, I'm like, I don't know what the heck I'm going to talk about today. We do it out of repetition because we know it's helpful to keep the stuck energy moving. Okay, so we have 11 minutes left on the clock. We're going to just split that up. We're going to do maybe, of course we're going to split it up, but I was thinking of 50-50. We're going to active breathe for maybe 2 or 3 songs, rest for a song, and then we'll end with our typical close where I try to remember all the things to talk about. All right, so I want you lying down when you're doing this. Let's see if the magical world, nope, that's not my music. Let's grab my music. So as I'm doing this, you can lie down, Get yourself centered in whatever way makes sense to you. And start the active breath. Oh, for those of you who are new, I never told you what the active breath is. Three parts. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale through the tummy, which simply means you're using your tummy muscles to jet out. So it kind of feels like your breath is being pulled down a little bit. Second breath is through the lungs. Through the lungs, we always breathe through our lungs, but it's more of these accessory muscles jet out. And then exhale. Inhale, jet out. So keep going just like that. If you've already done this before, go on your journey. Have fun. I'm here. If you haven't, I'll continue with the breath a little bit more to coach you through these first few breaths. The pace I just did is pretty typical. Feel free to slow it down or speed it up depending on how you feel. Again. Remember, you're lying down right now. So keep going. And just like that. And every once in a while, I'll come into your ear to coach you. But that's a good pace to start out with. The beginning is often like the beginning of a run. We're like, okay, this is fine. I'm good. I can do this. And then pretty soon we're like, oh, crap. Something inside's just like, stop, slow down. And sometimes that's necessary. Like, again, you got to kind of like manage the sensations. Is this time to keep going? Is this something to move through? Do I have that capacity, or is this time to slow down? Only you can decide. So sometimes it's like, yeah, I think I'm going a little too fast. Like I'm still kind of new to this or haven't done this in a long time. There's still backlog to be moved out, people. Yes, we did some movement, and like depending on how often you come to this type of practice, we all have our crap. Years, decades, lifetimes of backlog. So it always has a way of kind of like coming out sideways or something. So know that and expect that it's always waves. And the more we intentionally come to practices like this to let out our backlog, the less it's likely to come out sideways, where we're like, whoa, where did that come from? Like, why do I feel so crappy today? Or why did I just bite that person's head off? Or why do I feel sad? Keep going. This is going to be a shorter breathwork practice than we typically do, so if you're struggling, you have that to sink your teeth into. We're not going to be here for very long. All right, we're almost halfway done with the active breath, so I'm pretty sure we're starting song number 2 now. Keep breathing. Tummy, chest, exhale. Again, feel free to wiggle the wiggles out. To take a break and stretch. Or maybe you need to take off a layer of clothing or put on a layer of clothing, or like find a blanket. I'll often forget to tell you guys, like, blankets can be helpful during this practice. Maybe a pillow or something behind your head can be helpful, although some people really like to keep their throat open so they don't put anything behind their head. And you just keep going. Just like jogging, follow the rhythm, listen. If you need to slow down a little bit, slow down a little bit. If you're like, nothing's happening, this is stupid, I want to feel something, you just breathe faster and deeper. Keep going, you're almost there. And release the active breath. Now all you do is lie here. Allow gravity to take over. Allow all that focused hard work and attention just wash over you. There's nothing to do now for the next 2 minutes. But be with this beautiful acoustic song. Oftentimes when we're lying here, after we have, again, worked out the backlog, that's what that active breath does, we could be overcome with emotion or feel a deep sense of relief. Again, just like doing cardio. When we get done, we're like, oh, that feels so good. Or if we do something difficult, we have that difficult conversation. We whip through all those emails. We do all the meal prep. We finish the scrapbook. We complete that level of the game, the video game that we want to do. And we do something that requires a lot of attention and a lot of energy. And it's a relief when it's done. If you're feeling that, know that's part of this. Let that wash over you. Let yourself have deep gratitude for that feeling. You earned it. Also, if you're sitting there lying down and you're like, nothing happened, this is silly, that's okay too. 1, this isn't for everyone. 2, this practice takes time. It's like meeting a new friend. You don't, sometimes you click. And it's like you don't necessarily immediately trust somebody and tell them everything right when you first meet. Right? It takes time to build a relationship. And here you're learning to trust. You're building your relationship back with your body, with your mind, with your spirit, and then also the bigger creator, if that's something that you subscribe to. This can be that kind of medicine for you as well. We have come to the end of our class day, people. Feel free to stay in this position as long as you want. If you have time, go for it. In closing, we are still live, so we're all through July and apparently today. You're getting access to this if you're not a Y member. So if you're watching this live from somewhere else and you're not a member, this is free until I think this week. I think it's going to go away after this week. If you like this, know that you can subscribe to Virtual Y for $9.99 a month. It gives you access to thousands of on-demand videos, all sorts of topics, everything you know the Y for. And then you also can engage more all the time with these lives, not just for this month. What else do I have to tell you? How you do that is you sign up at ymcanorth.org, click on Virtual Y, and join now. Y members, thanks for watching. If you're watching this and you don't have the membership, same thing. Actually, you do have the membership. You just need to activate your Virtual Y membership. So know that this is free with your actual Y membership. Like if you go to physical locations, you can also have access to the on-demand videos. And then I want to tell you about feedbacks and comments. If you have any of those, you can send them my way. What you do is scroll down past all the classes. You find the Virtual Y feedback form. Click submit feedback, fill it out, and then that eventually gets sent my way, and I get to read all your comments, your questions, your considerations, and that's all I have. If you're watching this in real time or sometime during this week, happy August 2023. We're on day 1. We are in Lunasaw, if you follow the wheel of the year. It's one of my favorite times, full of grains, and like to me it's like a yellow, kind of orangey time. It's gonna be fall here pretty soon. I really like it. I think of like chickens clucking and cats purring, and thanks for watching. Oh, one more thing. If you are watching live and you like this, know that I will not be here the next 2 weeks. So I'll see you in 3. Bye. Oh, haha, I thought I could click the trailer. Okay, bye for real. No, it's not working. Humanness. The trailer does not exist. Help.
I'm Sarah, and this is Cardio Dance. Are you guys ready to work out? Let's do it.
I woke up feeling like this gon' be my day. I got that poppin' fire every step I take. Living that wild life.
Through the bag. Go! That's where we want to go.
Last 10 seconds. I'm right here with you. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Y. My name is Erin. I'm Jennifer.
My name is Linda.
My name is Tommy, and today we're going to do a quick step routine.
We feeling like we can conquer the world today?
I wish you all could smell it. It smells so good.
Time. We get stronger in my world. We're going to do it again.
We'll see